Hello, everyone. Welcome to session or episode 30, whatever we want to call it, of Mayhem on Mandril, Act 4, Season 4. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's been a while, but we're back, and we are trying to get the ball moving. Lucine is in an interesting state, and many players are being put on stages to orchestrate a very real possible transfer of power or something similar. Time will tell how it all shakes out. But to begin, I would like to recap. I'm going to try to cover the span of, well, it's been many weeks in real life. Will cover the span of many weeks in game. We left off on Saturday, October 9th, where Cagliari killed Gingle.
Yeah.
Groger investigated Xerxes, and Kingi joined us briefly with the aid of the dragons, more specifically of Marduk, who not super willingly joined Sable and Thaloran and Kingi in the assisted killing of Wormwood Masters in hell. He is dead forever. So, a lot was accomplished last session, if we're being real. But we are going to take a high level overview to try to get some of our main objectives done. And let me tell you, we have quite a few objectives. Malachi, there are a few specific things I want to do, but I wanted to run by. I think we spoke briefly, like right before session, and some high level overview stuff. But effectively, the state of things in Lucine. Aramaeus is on the ground to be used how you desire. Sir Prince is on the ground to be used how you desire. Khaldun can be in Lucine and on the ground to be used how you desire. Orion would recommend sending Khaldun as an emissary to the Bronzehide clan, who are, of course, Dragonborns, and sort of broker discussions there, which, if you even so desired, you could clairvoyantly oversee, literally, as well as starting to get the bards to play some of their songs. One of which potentially being a connection you already have at the Theater of Commons with Enchantress. Aramaeus can begin introducing the Song of Homecoming, taking the popular ditty and inspiring a new wave of bards to sing the lyrics, which shouldn't be too difficult, as that's already generally quite common. But his arrangement may prove effective in that sense, and Sir Prince can also do the same. So you have many options. Any thoughts so far?
Hmm. Um. Probably. Send Khaldun to the Bronze Heights,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can go ahead and uh, realistically, the bards. I'll give them the okay, so they can sort of work on their own.
Yep. Okay, cool. I should find. I need some, like. I want some chill ambiance before we, like. What do I. Michael Guffey, what do you got for me?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, you're
dun,
you're
dun,
gonna provide
dun,
the ambiance?
dun, 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 dun,
I know what this
dun.
is. What is this?
Oh, it's Daybreak
What is that?
from Community.
Huh?
It's Daybreak from Community.
Yeah,
It's a
bye.
song that Troy and Abed referenced many times.
Oh, okay. But it's not literally from Community. It's just, yeah, okay. It's not a Community original song, is what I was confused about.
No, but
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah,
play
yeah.
it.
Okay, yeah. I'm with the program. I'm with the program. All right, relaxing meadow ambience. Why is it so loud? Yo, dude, locking in Firefox's volume is truly a monumental task. All right. Um, from base camp is I believe where you will be on October 9th organizing these things. The bards have been released. Aramaeus has rolled a. Oh shoot! I'm gonna pull it from character sheets. Aramaeus has rolled a 19 on performance pre modifiers. So needless to say, I think things are going to go pretty well on that front. And you're going to have quite a crowd of bards who are going to be able to quite easily draw information. Okay, yeah, so that's a 19 plus 13 for a total of 32. So you quickly hear reports back that a song that the commoners heard in the Theater of Commons performed by Aramaeus and a group of bards that he carefully recruited for the task has begun surging like wildfire in Lucine proper. And it's a retelling of, as I said, a song by an old bard named Yea of the West. And it is
Oh,
quite
shut up.
and it is quite taken off. It is quite taken off. So things go well on that front so far. And Aramaeus is eager to introduce the Waltz of Artemis and actually has ideas for allowing the commoners to experience something closer to a formal dance. His main ask is going to be seeing if he can get a stand-up piano in the Theater of the Commons, which is not an easy lift, but attempting to leverage connections. He and the other bars are going to see if they can pull something together so that the commoners can experience the taste of a royal ball, and effectively provide lessons. Help people learn how to waltz. Could be a big community event. I'm gonna have him roll for persuasion for that. Okay, so Aramaeus just rolled a nat 20 on persuasion for a total of 29.
He's the greatest of all time. What
He
can we
is
say?
actually the greatest. I just rolled a 19 and a 20 for random NPC guide. Let's go. Hopefully this means that these rolls will not be used by the NPCs who are your antagonists, because I just burned them right here. We'll see. So, in the course of a week, or we'll say 2 weeks, since that's the time period we're going to be going, but we'll see that through as we progress. Aramaeus has laid the foundation for a new, what can only be referred to as a cultural renaissance or return to form, truly. Because what he's bringing is not actually new. It's a lot of what was around in the culture prior to Xerxes establishing his throne and redefining his interests and having them disseminated to the people. So this is, in a true sense, a grassroots cultural revolution. And other bards quickly, who are not in your direct employ, have picked up on the trend, and you are now setting culture. So, congratulations.
We set the culture.
We set the culture. All right, on the other hand, Khaldun needs to meet with the Bronze Hides, and he will report back to you. Khaldun is going to go in and get a lay of the land. It is a house pretty much almost exclusively of Dragonborn, Bronze Dragonborn, as you could guess. But there are a collection of other Dragonborn who stick together as sort of an improvised clan, as there aren't a ton of Dragonborn, or perhaps at least not as many as there used to be in the olden days. So Khaldun will go in and get a lay of the land and see what he can find out. He's going to start by making an investigation check. Okay, I really need you guys to believe me. I've rolled a second natural 20. And it was a real roll.
We win
It's
these.
fun.
I mean, what can I say?
I know. I mean, statistically, what I just did is it's not that crazy. It's only 1 in 400, and the amount of dice I roll, it's not surprising in the grand scheme of the universe. But yeah, he only has a +1 on investigation. So wow.
He's on fire.
Clearly. I think I need to start using this dice. I'm rolling one blue d20 that I've never used before. So I think this is my die now. Okay. Well, with a natural 20, Khaldun in early October begins to learn that the Bronze Hides are quite the industrious bunch. And Sturker Bronzehide, the leader of the clan, and one who is a Bronze Dragonborn who ultimately shares the heritage passed down from his progenitor and his direct father, isn't super pleased in all that Xerxes is doing. He's been around effectively the whole time. He finds out through talking to the network that he and your father were actually very close. Sturker isn't a draconic sorcerer, but he understands the weight of that. And so he and your father actually had a kinship that not a whole lot of people had. And upon Khaldun carefully navigating the situation and learning who can be trusted within the Bronze Hides, he confides in Sturker and starts opening up about Sol de Lumiere as you would have released him to do so. What information would you have cleared Khaldun to convey?
I suppose, rather than a statement, it would be more of a prevailing dubiousness about the nature of his death
Right.
and what surrounds it.
Okay. In that case, I will have Khaldun make a persuasion roll himself with advantage due to the prior relationship and the careful fact-finding investigation he is already undertaking. That is an 11 and a 6 pre-modifier. When we add persuasion, that's a +9. That is a dirty 20 on persuasion. After talking with Sturker Bronzehide over the course of only a few short days, Khaldun hasn't exactly guaranteed you a strict alliance, as Sturker likewise doesn't want the city of Lucine to erupt into chaos. But he would be extremely interested to know what a king not so after Xerxes' specific passions and interests would look like, especially because of his fond memories and his relationship and business development with Sol de Lumiere. So he is very much interested in learning more, and is at this point he can be considered an ally.
Fascinating.
Fascinating?
Yes.
Okay. That is all the legwork that I can pull through the NPCs. You have to do the rest. I'll wait before we transition to the churches to give John a little more time. For reference, before, just to lay the groundwork, I had planned on Sable and Thaloran at this point being in Lucine proper, likely operating in the Church of Savras. Sable, if you just have duties to catch up on or things that you want to see practically,
I need to make money.
you need to. Well, that's real, and you're
Wake
allowed
up,
to
we
do
need to
that.
make money.
I gotta come up with 1,000 gold.
That's true. You do. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait, what?
He wants an enhanced spellcasting focus that'll help him cast things without the material components that cost 1,000 GP.
Oh, that's right.
It's not. It's
I
a
have
tough task.
forbiddance, but I can't cast it because I have no money.
Yeah. Well, then let's take a pause from.
Wait, no,
Oh.
hold on.
Okay.
Realistically, we've got money.
Would you like to give Sable a small loan of 1,000 gold?
I'd give him 2,000
Hell yeah!
Wow.
and buy two.
Oh wow.
How about 2,500? We buy two, and Sable keeps the rest.
Oh gosh.
He's so shrewd.
No, 2,000 is fine. That's enough.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
wow.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I've not looked at the material components of any of my spells. Oh, I don't have any spells with material components. Never mind.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
the only
balance.
ones that I've been using was like I need a magnifying glass and like I think polymorph needs a cocoon, but that's
Interesting.
yeah. I'm sure Sable could find a cocoon on his many travels.
Yeah. That's why most of the time when the material components aren't something that costs $1 billion, I'm like, you have what you need, realistically.
Yeah.
Wording
And-
Bond says it needs a pair of rings,
rings,
and
yeah.
each ring costs 5 platinum each.
What?
Holy shit!
Does
Well,
anybody
50
does
50
anybody
gold.
ever play by these rules? Like, maybe they do. Maybe
It
I'm
doesn't
the
consume
oddity.
them.
Right, but you just have to have them.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's cheap enough that it could just be like, yeah, I mean, you have it because I don't know. It's just, especially if a player
Yeah, like
if a
I
player
have.
walks into a campaign with warding bond, you know.
Mhm.
But I guess there is something interesting in making that player give the ring to someone, and then they're the only one you can cast warding bond on because it's the matching ring. Like that's kind
And
of
the
interesting.
question is, if you want to cast it on somebody else, do you need another pair of rings or just one more?
That's a good question.
Are you just gonna walk around wearing 10 rings?
10 ring, one for each person that you might warding bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds atrocious. Absolutely
Toe
atrocious.
rings. Let's go.
Absolutely atrocious. All right, I'm gonna look here. What do we have? I am scouring the city of Lucine for smiths who would be qualified in making such an item. Your biggest problem, Sable, would be commissioning such an item would draw quite a bit of attention to yourself, let alone commissioning two such items.
Hmm.
And of course, in Lucine, if you're not someone in the good graces of the king, you may not be able to obtain such an item from a private vendor.
This is
So let me see here.
isn't this where I'm from?
This is where you're from. I think the benefit you have is
I would 100% know a place.
I'm pretty sure you would. I'm scouring to see what that place would be. Oh, I know exactly where you need to go. I know exactly where you need to go. All right. Sable, you know these streets. You know who you specifically don't want to go to. And realistically, it's all of the upper crust of the magicians of Lucine. That includes the Red Wizard. That includes the Academy Hall and Scholar's Court and Sorcerer's Rest. All the schnobs. You don't need to deal with the schnobs. You've seen the working man. And some of the guild artisans in this city are some of the most skilled on the island. And ultimately, what you need is a work of art that is worth enough that you can work the magic in as you need because you're a cleric, right? You know what you're doing. You just need the goods to make it happen. The best person to do that is going to be someone at the Lucine Artisans Guild in the Guild Quarter, which, by the way, in case you didn't know, only exists because of the work of Sol de Lumiere. Just in case there was any quandary about that. The Artisans Guild is filled with merchants from goldsmiths to furniture makers. Anybody who makes a lot of money in their craft is likely a part of the Artisans Guild. There's so many notable families who work their way through this guild. One of the most famous ones was possibly the Craft family. A ton of great paintings that came out of them. Their like patriarch was a big painter back in the day. He was a part of the Artisans Guild. There's a separate Carpenters Guild, a separate Magicians Guild, but there isn't really a Smithies Guild when it comes to the ornamental woodworking, the ornamental masonry. A lot of them actually sign with the Artisans Guild, and they make big money doing commissions throughout the city. It's actually extremely likely that the statue that was created of Gingle, that is now irrelevant because Gingle is dead, was probably commissioned from somebody in the Masons Guild or potentially even the Artisans Guild, because the Masons are more get buildings made, the Artisans are more commission the statues. So it's very interesting. You can very likely get what you need to get this piece commissioned. The difficulty is this, and this is where Malachi might need to give you 2,500. You need 2 arcane focuses worth 1,000 gold points. The production of those, it's not going to cost you 1,000. They're going to give you something worth a lot. So they're realistically going to cost you 1,500, 2,000 per, 1,500, 1,200. So you're going to have to roll. You're going to have to roll some persuasion to bid this out. How much these arcane foci are going to run you?
Hold on, I might have a spell for this.
Oh dear God, she's gonna suggest them. Gonna dominate persons. Like, make me the thing.
I could just charm.
You can. It's kind of villainous, but you can.
They'll hate you afterwards.
They will hate you afterwards. Because I think they will know they've been charmed. So it's kind of a low ball move.
Usually, like the last line of the spell, if
Yeah.
they do or not.
Yeah.
The creature knows it was charmed by you. Damn.
Yeah, and hence why I'd advise against it.
It really makes those spells not
Not
like
that
as
good.
yeah. I mean, like
Actually,
It's just you mostly use
I
them against
can-
hostile. Yeah.
I can do even better
Okay.
than that.
What can you do?
I can charm person and then modify memory.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh, he's actually a psychopath.
just modified memory, so they think they already agreed.
Oh gosh.
Oh
You're giving him
my
No, you're
God.
giving him no.
Wait.
Oh my
That's it.
gosh.
So I walk up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's a psychopath.
And the first thing I do is, do I know this person? I've probably met him in passing.
If you're seeking someone from the Artisans Guild, you're probably gonna pick a guy that you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll say the man you go up that you know at the Artisans Guild, who's a good smith. That sometimes in your clerical duties, some rings come from the guild, some other what are the little things called? The sensors. Some sensors are made by this guy. He kind of goes by Chief. You don't actually know his real name. He's a big burly guy, and he doesn't look like the kind of guy who could make the intricate, beautiful pieces that come from his big burly hands, but they do. Big strong guy with a beard, big muscles.
Okay. Super important question.
Yeah.
Did Malachi give me the gold already?
Probably.
As long as you had
We'll say
told me
that.
about it before you left, I would have given you the money you need.
Yeah, so you got 2,000, it sounds like.
Okay. Good evening, Chief.
How's it going? Do I know you? You a client?
Not new. I have ordered something from you before, long before.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
But,
not good with faces or names. A lot of business.
No, of course. Is there anybody else around?
This is not good.
Roll perception.
I got a nat one.
You can't see anybody. It's a big building. There's a lot of open spaces in the guild hall itself, so it's a little difficult to tell. Being the conniving bastard you are, I'm sure you've picked an appropriate time where the traffic is going to be minimum, but you're a little paranoid that people may overhear.
Yeah. I've come in because I've been meaning to get a oh my God, what's the word?
Uh-huh.
I want you to make something for me.
All right.
In fact, I want you to make two things for me, and it's not going to be cheap.
Okay.
Is there somewhere we can talk a little bit more privately?
Yes, I value my client's discretion. I have something of an office in the back. It's not much, but it's mine. You can follow me. All right, he takes you away from a more open section of the guild hall and leads you to a small little room in the back, filled with mostly empty shelves, some equipment. This is a glorified janitor's closet, but it is private. And he shuts the door and says, "What are you thinking?"
I'm thinking, and I cast Modify Memory.
Okay.
Wisdom 16.
All right, Chief. He got a 7 plus 1 for an 8.
Okay, let me quickly scan through this.
Right.
Maybe you should have read it before you cast it, but it's okay.
I thought you were charming first.
Why?
Even better. Watch this. Okay.
So I can change a 10-minute period of his memory into whatever I explain to him next.
Dear God.
So basically, I walked in here about 20 minutes ago. And in the past 10 minutes, we have discussed how you will be making me. What are they? Focuses?
Uh-huh. Yep.
2 focuses of a weight value of 1,000 gold each.
Uh-huh.
And how I've already given you a 1,500 gold down payment.
Uh-huh.
And you will receive another 1,500 gold down payment at the end.
Uh-huh. His eyes are glazed over, but you can sense that he's hanging on every word.
Now, this is a very profitable deal for you, and you have thanked me so deeply. One of them is to be relatively plain, but still of equal value. The other is to be flamboyant and absolutely ridiculous looking.
Right.
And this is, of course, you have agreed to do this as your top priority and in a ASAP fashion. Thank you very much.
All right, are you concluding the spell?
Yep.
Okay. He goes, he comes out of the glaze. His eyes lock onto you. He like processes where he is, and he goes, all right, so I should be good to start. We're looking all right. I need to figure out where I put your down payment, but you're fine. That's on me. Give me about a week and I'll get them to you.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure doing business
Deeply
with you,
appreciate
Chief.
your business, Sable. Or what, did you even tell him your name, actually?
No.
All right. Deeply appreciate your business, sir. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And I'm going to walk out.
Complete psycho. Negative
That's like,
negative karma.
imagine if you lost like $150,000. Like he'd be himself.
Oh man. That
Well,
was
the good
okay.
news is I've just made 500 gold. He feels really happy about the business. And we've got the
now-
things we wanted.
What's your alignment again?
Chaotic. I think somewhat good.
I think it's chaotic good or neutral.
Is it on your background?
I think
I
it should be.
think
just
we
don't have a
agreed
sheet
it
pulled
was
up.
chaotic good because of my twisted perception of things.
Yeah.
And in which case it still matches
Yeah, I'm just confirming.
because
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
helping him.
No, you're lawful neutral. So what that
Lawful?
well, because here's where
It's because
this makes
I
sense.
follow my set of
You're
rules.
exactly. You
Yeah.
have a set of rules that you operate by, and this is in line with them, and it's one of the icky ones.
Oh, yeah, this definitely aligns with it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You also serve Savras, so it's like it's not like you're not serving goody two shoes. You're serving knowledge domain guy. So, wow, what a complete psycho. Like I'm not proud of you. I'm impressed, but I'm not
I'll be
proud of
honest.
you.
I'll be honest. Malachi loves that stuff. Because he can't do it no more.
Yeah, he can.
Somebody's got to.
Somebody can. Well, that was impressive. That was very impressive. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you there for now. I have some other stuff. But I gotta tee up. Cagliari here. So Malachi, you have mobilized. Yeah, it's not actually you yet, Jake. I gotta lay the groundwork. You see. So Malachi, here's the deal.
Oh, just one thing to
Mhm.
confirm. He spent what? Was it?
He spent
did they
1,500. He will
Okay.
have spent 1,500 by the end of it.
Right. That's why he. Okay, that's why. All right, cool.
Yep,
So
yep.
I didn't give him 2,500.
No, you had agreed to 2,000. Yep.
No, yeah, Malachi don't play that.
He don't. All right, so here's the deal. Malachi, your little network has done as much as it can do on its own. Malik is off hopefully learning valuable information about Xerxes with Roger and making sure he doesn't get into trouble because he's babysitting. And your networking in Lucine has done well so far, but there are 2 key people that you need to meet if we are going to progress things. One of them is Fabrizio Falcone, and the other is... Oh, I just closed the document accidentally.
The Falcone of the Blue Falcon shippers.
Fabrizio Falcone is the head of the noble house, rather than the manor houses, the 4 that we were, Tiana, Taylor, Zara, and Rashan. He's head of the noble house, proper house, that's what they're called. He's head of the proper house, the Falcone house. And yes, his company is the Blue Falcon Delivery Service. They're the most prestigious and well-known couriers on Mandril. Who you also need to meet is probably the Rosewaters. You don't have to, but we'll say an opportunity has opened in that from what you learned at Ravenna's ball and through some of the follow-up intel that Orion has been working with his network is the Rosewaters and the Linnaeus do not get along. And of course, you and the Linnaeus, in a sense, don't get along because they want Cagliari dead.
Yay!
And you didn't have a great interaction with the one guy at the ball, so you can navigate that as you will. But an opportunity has opened where, if you wanted to orchestrate a meeting with the head of the House Rosewater, you may be able to do so.
Rosewater is not the one with the young man, is it?
That would be the St. Lucius family. Victor St. Lucius was the young man you were attempting to shepherd that evening. No opportunities as of yet have opened the channels between you two, but the network is working to make it so because we have reason to believe that they would be responsive to such a meeting. But for the time being, Ambrose Rosewater and Fabrizio Falcone, Orion could set up meetings with them. Fabrizio Falcone has...
I'll do the Falcone one.
Yeah. And then, are you interested? Do you want to do Rosewater or no?
He was the one I kind of didn't feel sure about, right?
Adrian Rosewater was the American accent style suitor. He was like a little chubbier and a little uncomfortable. I don't know if he's the one you felt unsure about, but you wouldn't be meeting with him. You'd be meeting with the patriarch of the Rosewaters, which is Ambrose Rosewater.
No, actually, I guess I was thinking about the pompous one.
That would be what's his name, Linnae, who I gave a French accent because his name is Linnae. Where is he? I have so many documents open. Scroll up. Armel Linnae. Armel Linnae
was another guy though.
The full list.
Bro.
Hi.
He was like the short to win.
All right. I just wanted to show my epic CD collection.
What is
Okay.
Huh?
I'm being invaded. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you're fine. You can mute if you need to. The full list of suitors for your recollection was Ernst Reinhardt, son of you know who, Lionel Reinhardt.
That was his nephew. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's maybe it isn't. I don't know. I will confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's his son. Armel Linnae, Adrian Rosewater, Victor St. Lucius, Gregory Grafton, Reginald Armistice, and Duke Longshire.
I remember Duke Longshire.
Mm-hmm.
Fart.
Yeah. All right. So, who would you like to meet with first? Or did you decide? Are you meeting with both, or are you just meeting with Falcone?
I'll go with Falcone and I'll decide after.
Okay. Very well. All right. You have a number of options in terms of where to meet with Falcone, but Falcone is actually the one setting the terms. He pulls a lot of weight, and he's very serious about his business, and of course, given that he runs a courier service, it's very easy for him to get around. So he has actually proposed that you meet outside of Grafton Bridge. Just one evening, as he'll be making his way over there, and has asked if you can physically get there and meet him at the inn, and say that you have a say that you'd like to employ the Blue Falcons when you find their lone courier there. And then he will escort you into the designated meeting area. If these terms are acceptable to you, then you can meet with Fabrizio Falcone.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's set a date here. We were at what? Something October 9th. All right. We're gonna say you're gonna meet with Fabrizio Falcone Thursday evening, October 14th, 1632. Da-da-da-da-da. Who are you going to bring with you, or are you flying solo for this meeting?
Who's available with me?
Well, all of your main crew are scattered across the four corners of the earth, but you could bring Orion if you were so inclined. You could bring any number of guard escorts, one of your two Dragonborn, Iovita, or what's the other guy's name? Tiberius. Also Malik's private guard, Saturninus and Africanus, haven't had anything to do since Malik insisted they stay with the camp.
Okay, but what do they look like?
They are typically, they look very Kuningrikian, or however you would say that, but they have generally swarthy skin, but they're not dark. They're not pale like they're from Coruscare. They could pass for a lot of things. Saturninus and Africanus.
Cunning Grecian?
I really don't know. It's great. It's a great question. We'll say cunning Grecian. Why not? Coruscarian, cunning
anyway.
Grecian, Königsbergian. Who knows?
I'll take the Dragonborn.
All right, you will take Iovita and Tiberius. All right.
Iovita is a silver Dragonborn, is she not?
She is. Tiberius, I believe, is bronze. I can confirm that by perusing the roster. Tiberius is... I don't even have it listed on a sheet. Lol. I'm pretty sure he's bronze. Or he's brass. Excuse me. Brass. That's the one. That's the other metal. All right. Will you be going as yourself or disguised initially?
I would go disguised first.
Okay. Excellent. Any particular initial disguise?
I'd like to look
I'm back.
Welcome back.
like a human version, like a fully human version of Dariah.
As a woman. Okay. Okay. This is yeah, okay. All right. I mean, I guess you can do that. You have a disguised self, right? Does that mask your voice? If not, technically, Iovita and Tiberius can talk for you as your escorts. What would you prefer?
I would prefer that they speak.
Okay, you're cutting in and out, but I understood that.
I
Okay.
prefer that they speak.
Okay, grind. All right. Fabrizio Falcone, patriarch of the Blue Falcon, really founder of the Blue Falcon Delivery Service, patriarch of the proper house, the Falcones, has summoned you here. He has set the terms, and you don't exactly know what the discussion is going to be, but Orion opened the channel, and Fabrizio was the one to take the real initiative. So, Iovita and Tiberius navigate their way through the dock. Sure, they draw attention, but you are a subject of interest in a far different way than you would typically be as Malachi, due to your escort and your very different feminine appearance. For the most part, though, people are just doing their jobs. it's Thursday evening. People are tired. Ships have come in and things are winding down. As you navigate up to one of the carriage houses, you do see a distinct black and blue carriage, labeled, of course, with the Blue Falcon Delivery Service emblem. And Tiberius walks up to some of the men there and says, "Good evening. We have some business we'd like to get started with some of you, if that's possible. We were told we could discuss that here." The two guards look at each other a little confused before a man with a blue plume in his hat comes out with a scroll in his hand and says, "Ah, yes, we've been expecting you, lady and escort. Please make your way inside. We are eager to discuss possible arrangements." All right, you follow?
I do.
All right. Your escort takes you pretty swiftly back to a small little meeting house. You're not exactly sure what it is. It looks like some kind of logistics house or even a warehouse. But the Blue Falcons have taken over this wing of it. It's fairly inconspicuous. The other workers are loading their stations, and you effectively just have your own little wing of this warehouse to yourself with Blue Falcon guards stationed at every entrance. And as you walk in, they close the doors to the warehouse. They walk you to the back section behind a section of pallets and barrels. This is quite a full inventory. There's a lot of stuff here. And just sitting at the back, completely unbothered, completely chill, and surrounded by a number of guards. For what you are seeing possibly the first time, the full Blue Falcon heraldry are surrounding him. He sits at a small wooden table, nondescript, and is playing some kind of card game by himself as he waits. But as you approach, his eyes look up towards you. He stands up with his cane in hand. He has a few chairs prepared for you already, and he says, "Ah, yes, please, sit down, sit down. You are who I am expecting." All right. He makes a single gesture with his hands, and the guards all disappear. It appears they're going to watch the entrance, watch the windows, and make sure the area is secure, but they are very much out of earshot so long as you maintain a calm and quiet volume. "Please sit down. Join me. Join me."
I sit.
Okay. When are you going to release the disguise?
Not yet.
Okay. Fabrizio Falcone begins. He says, "This is interesting. This is not what I expected, but my men seem to have identified you. Tell me what brings you here. What can I help you with?"
You're a man of great connections.
Yeah.
And so there's always something that you can offer.
You have a very deep voice for a woman.
Yes.
Cancer, you see.
Why don't
Yes.
you open up to me?
Well, that's rather forward. Listen. Before I share, truthfully,
He's going at
or
a
as
cigar.
close-
He's nodding.
or as close as I can, or as close to truthfully as I can, I need to make sure that you can be trusted.
Everybody has their own motives. Trust is a difficult thing in this world. But from everything I know, you and I, our motives, they don't clash. There's no friction there.
May I ask you, Mr. Falcone? Lord Falcone, how would you feel if the governance of Lucine were in different hands?
I've seen many kings. A king makes a nation great, much like the leader of a business makes it succeed or fail. Any company, any government needs leadership. Strong leadership. And the current governance is strong, but not particularly, how do you say, competent. He lets out a big puff of his cigar. He makes sure, he's blowing the smoke away from you. He's not trying to get smoke in your face.
And may I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
There was a period of, I suppose some would call it almost an economic boom in Lucine.
Yeah.
I believe much of it was driven by one Sol de Lumiere.
He laughs. Sol was a good guy. You don't give him all the credit. I was making moves. The fields were fertile back then, and I'm not talking the farmland. A lot was going on. A lot was changing. The houses were in need of some structure, and I found a way to provide that structure. And then as things changed, I adapted. I played a big hand in making sure that people got the goods they needed around that time. And while they don't all need me anymore, I've expanded my business to people who do. Sol was a big part of it, yes. I worked with him on a few things, but it wasn't the only one moving pieces at that time.
Certainly. But I understand that he was key in the development of many of the guilds.
The guilds, yes. Something I just never took to. I never found an artistic passion. I never had family who was tradesmen, not in that sense. I had to
And certainly
find
there
my
were
own path.
economic guilds as well, financial holdings and brokers. And
Yes, that was the complicated part. I financed many of those guilds myself. People forget. I have many controlling stakes in some of them to this day. I have influence, like you said, connections.
And may I ask, in all of your time knowing Sol de Lumiere, his untimely passing, has it made sense to you?
He puts his cigarette down and he looks at the table. He stuffs it out for the time being and puts it on a little holder. And he looks you in the eye and he says, I've done many things over the years that I'm not proud of. I've watched myself make decisions in pursuit of building my own little kingdom. I've watched men change. I've been betrayed. And he points. I think I need to put the webcam on for this. This is important. This is critical.
Locking in?
This is load bearing. He goes, I've made friends, I've made enemies, but I've been betrayed. People have surprised me. They always do. Sol surprised me. But I didn't know him so well as I knew some of my betrayers. My men, I watched them change slowly. And it wasn't until I realized they had crossed a point of no return that I saw the path they was on. And it was too late for them. But Sol, I never saw any of that. It was very sudden. Maybe it's because I didn't know him. Maybe it's because there was something fishy. Meh. I couldn't say.
Mr. Falcone, would you say that you're a good judge of character?
It's a skill I've improved over the years. Struggled with it as a young man. But if you're around long enough as I am, you learn that people are all ultimately, fundamentally, the same. They're after the same things, the same drive. So yes.
So this whole time I've been like proper posture, sitting back in the chair, one leg over the other, hand in my lap, you know, very noble woman. And then I make a subtle shift where I shift how I have my legs.
Okay.
I sit forward a little bit, and then I pass my hand in front of my face, and I look like myself, and I say, "You've probably heard a lot about me.
The
How would you judge
connections tell me a
my
lot.
character?"
Well, to know a man's character, you have to know the man, not the stories. People spin tall tales about me, about what I've done. Tales about corruption. Tales about, my dealings. Tales about the illegitimacy of my rise, of my empire. If you listen to what the people say, I'm not such a great guy. But talk is just talk. To know a man, you gotta spend time with him. You gotta see him. You gotta see him grow. See him change. I see my sons grow up, I know what kind of men they are. Doesn't matter to me what people say. I know what kind of man I am. Like I said, I've done some things I'm not proud of. But I've grown. I've changed. Become wiser. Shrewder. More careful. So I can't say what kind of man you are, Lord de Lumiere. I can say what the people say. But is it true? We don't know.
Yes. And I could sit here and regale you of all that I've done for people. And yet I won't. Instead, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you to utilize your skill of judging and assessing character. Because the truth of the matter is, Lucine needs change.
I certainly have ways of utilizing you, and some of those ways may tell me about your character. I've been piecing things together, what's been going on. And I think your network and mine have had a little bit of friction, which, given that I think our interests are reasonably in line, I'd prefer that to not be the case. But when it comes to treading carefully, sometimes stuff happens and wires are crossed. Here's the deal. As far as I understand it, you was the one who done Gingolin. Or at least, one of your girls had. Which, he was on my list, but I just didn't have the resources to pull it off. I couldn't draw the heat. The menace. So that tells me something. That you're willing to make stuff happen. And not too many men have the stones to do that in this world. There's a cost to taking a life. But here's the deal. There's a mole in my operation, Lord de Lumiere. A mole who's been working against my interests and yours. And I need this mole dead. I know he's out of Grafton. When everything went down there with the Gingle situation, I heard quick. But every time there's, things are slowed down, information is lost conveniently. And I think this mole that's in my network needs to go down. There's a lot of eyes on me right now. The man upstairs, not the big man, the little man upstairs, our benevolent governor, is very interested in seeing my business fail. I have too much money for his comfort. I have too much power, too much sway in the culture. And I know he's working against me. And I'm gonna get him for it. But the more that I can honestly wave my hands up and say it wasn't me, the better. You know, you understand what I'm saying, Lord de Lumiere. I'm already in it. And I'd love to get out of it. But it means things are gonna need to change. And this mole's been driving me up a wall.
If you're interested, I'll give you a little assignment. Maybe you put your little girl on it again. We can hook her up with some disguises, plant her in the right place, because I need that mole dealt with. And if you can help me with this, maybe our networks can start coordinating.
I just kind of tilt my head like I'm contemplating it. In exchange, I would appreciate using some of your channels as well.
Of course, that's what I'm proposing.
Well, not just for transportation, but
Information.
information, some persuasion.
That's my business, Malachi.
I know. No.
You see, a lot of people think that the business is the transporting of goods. But that just opens the doors. The real business is who you know and what kind of relationship you have with them.
Of course, nothing
That's-
opens your mouth
That's
faster
how
than
I
a
came to
good
be
hand.
where I am.
Certainly. And I agree. And so, here is my proposition. I will ask you this. No, I will tell you this. I'm amenable to certain actions. However, just like you care for your family, I care for mine. And I have neither affirmed nor denied whether we were in fact responsible for poor Gingle's untimely demise. However, if we were connected in some way, and you could ensure that whoever performed this atrocity would be, well, given their skills, able to get out of it rather unharmed, or, well, not unharmed, but could escape, we might be able to have a deal. In exchange, you will provide, as you have said. I suppose we can help each other out there.
Simple enough.
And I will tell you, you may think me one who has aspirations for the crown.
What are your aspirations?
I do not. I simply want to see Lucine free. Lucine liberated. Lucine returned to the capital that it once was. A place where magic was free, education was free.
That's all
Well,
well
one
and
guy-
good, Lord de Lumiere, but at the end of the day, somebody's gonna be lusting after that throne. And if you don't take it when the big man goes down, somebody else will.
Sure that the right person gets onto the throne. If it is I, so be it.
I'll have my men send you a briefing of the target and what we know. I trust you'll deal with that information with the utmost care.
Pass my hand back in front of my face. Said, of course.
Pleasure meeting you, my lady. He leans forward and now very loudly he says, I do hope you recover from your cold. Thank you for coming out in spite of your hoarse voice.
Certainly.
All right, he sends you off, and the escorts come back out. you're good to go. Fabrizio Falcone is neutral-leaning ally. But of course, there's a job to do. A job for a certain satyr. All right.
I wonder who it is.
I wonder. Of all
Is it Leo?
there's just so many satyrs in the world. Who could it be? Could be anyone.
Could be played by anyone too.
It could be. It could be literally any one of the player characters that we have here. It's so hard to know, truly. Where do I put this? Where did I put the last Cagliari kills? I shared the document with you, didn't I?
I
Okay.
think so.
I don't think I'm gonna do that this time because I have little secrets on it. Oh, but I should. Let me put the secret. I'm gonna put the secret in the session notes for me, and then I'm gonna reformat this. Stop. Okay, good. Share. I don't know if this will navigate right to episode 2. But where did I just drop it in the campaign chat? Where did I put it? I put it in info dump? It's not an info dump.
What are you looking for?
I know I shared the document with you before, but I don't know what chat
It's in our
I
chat.
shared it in. It's in the campaign chat?
No, it's in our chat.
It's specifically
Jacob chat.
in the Jacob chat.
Yeah.
It is in the Jacob chat. Okay, well, I'll just share it in the Jacob chat again. I don't know if it actually goes. You already have it, but whatever. All right. Now for the dramatic reading and briefing.
Yay!
Good evening, Cagliari. 2 weeks have passed since the highly suspicious yet unblameable drowning of Lord Gingle Tiana. The power vacuum has spread cracks through House Tiana's foundation, with no clear successor, and of course, no guiding hand. Sorry, I did switch tabs. Tiana's supply lines have grown erratic, an opportunity for those with vision. Enter Fabrizio Falcone, head of House Falcone and patriarch of the Blue Falcon merchant dynasty. A shrewd operator and ruthless negotiator, Fabrizio is making moves. He's recently returned from a private meeting with Malachi de Lumiere, the whispering usurper rumored to be planning the downfall of King Xerxes, or so the people say. But first, Fabrizio needs stability, and he needs to plug a leak. A mole has infiltrated Falcone's logistics network, operating from Grafton Post. For months, this individual has been delaying shipments of alchemical reagents, diverting foodstuffs to Taylor black markets, and slipping false manifests into the Roshan archive. Only 3 suspects remain. One of them is the mole. Halden Voss, senior scribe at the Grafton Customs Hall. Stern, meticulous, deeply pious, claims Tarshivian or Cain bloodline. On weekdays, he logs and stamps merchant ledgers in the Southeast Taylor Quadrant Hall of Records, often eats alone at the glass-tankered saloon. Our suspicion is several shipping records with errors were signed under his seal, but he insists that sabotage comes from above. Mira Dunn, Blue Falcon courier liaison and delivery scheduler. Gregarious, overworked, but deeply loyal, or so it seems. Manages the main Blue Falcon transport office in the Northeast Zara Quadrant. She frequently stops by the Flower and Ember Bakery late mornings. Suspicion? A ledger with false inventory numbers was discovered in her office, but she claims it was planted. It has ties to a Talos or Roshan spice cartel, but no proof of active dealings. Our third and final suspect, Durban Kasshammer, dwarven foreman with a part-time contract with the Blue Falcons. A gruff ex-smuggler turned legitimate, he still holds grudges against House Taylor. Allegedly. Always by the pond during daylight hours. This is incorrect. Lives in a small shack in the Roshan Quadrant. Suspicion. Intercepted correspondence with the DK initials contains references to delays as requested and payment received. Likely he is the most careless of the 3. Your objective: find, identify, and eliminate the mole, ensuring no civilian casualties. Your cover opportunities are as a delivery courier, perhaps a day laborer, or a Temple of Savras Inquisitor. Many of the Blue Falcons will be at your service, but, of course, would prefer to remain impartial to the proceedings. One traitor, one knife in the dark. Make it clean, Cagliari. Fabrizio will be watching. Alright,
Okay.
what's your plan of attack? You're back in Grafton.
I like the Inquisitor one
Okay.
because it means I can probably keep my armor and weapons.
You sure could.
Jeez, I don't know.
It's a lot of info to dump on you, I know.
Well, I'm also not. I have a -1 to investigation.
Right.
This is not my wheelhouse.
But the killing is. And so here
The
we
killing
are.
part is.
Now, I can give you an option. Given that this is the first time I'm giving you this information, would you like me to go to Groger so that you have time to plan and execute? And you can
Sure.
consult the document. Okay. We will allow you to do that, and we'll come back to you.
Driving in a car.
He's driving in a car. Uh-oh. All right, all right, you might be on the line then. When are you back in real world? He's actually, okay, he's dead.
I'm all right. The plan I got is either to intimidate the hell out of them,
It
or
does work, yeah. Mhm.
zone of truth.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm quite intimidating.
It's true. It's true.
So that might just be the go-to. I'm pretty persuasive. I'm very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just have to talk to them and try to get it out of them.
It's a completely viable strategy as long as you can find them. So I'll ask you this, since you're probably on the line until Nick gets home. What would you like your entry point to be?
Does it matter?
Yeah, because I'm dropping you in.
Well, what I mean is like,
I mean, like, entry point, not just physically, but, like, what are you dressed as? What is your initial buy-in?
well, the Savros Inquisitor.
Definitely Inquisitor, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
because yeah, I don't.
Okay. You're an Inquisitor of Savros. An Oracle, if you will.
Sure.
Okay. Well, as a woman of the cloth, you will have some degree of autonomy. You could potentially conceal your weapons, potentially wear armor, if you wear cloaks above it.
Would an Inquisitor not wear armor of some sort?
You probably could. I don't think it would be strange.
What I'm imagining in my head right now is an RBDs from Warhammer, like
I don't know what that is, so let me just look
Armor.
that up real quick.
not like that technologically advanced, but
I literally don't know how to spell RBDs. All right, here's what I'm gonna say. This form of inquisiting, because Savros is known for being like more prophetic, so you might be investigating heresy of any kind, whether it's religious or against Xerxes or something similar. You could be literally a hired contractor who, as a prophet of Savros, you're divining that something is wrong, and you're like an investigator or whatever.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yes, you have a lot of ways you could play this because the Temple of Savros is about divination and like being prophetic. So you might not be like looking at heresy from the lens of, oh, these people don't follow Savros. It could be more so like, are you against the crown? Or I've been hired by X person to investigate this independently because I'm a diviner. Like whatever you want to say.
Okay, that is just true. I have been hired by someone to
It
investigate.
is. So it's like you could literally do that.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
Inquisitor, where are we dropping you off? What guy? I think the gate. I don't know. What gate should you come from? It kind of matters.
If I guess,
If you're coming from the Temple of Savros, you should come from the North Gate.
yeah, that's what I was
So-
gonna say. If I'm coming from Lucerne
All right.
proper, I
Cool.
guess I would come from the north.
All right. So you're greeted by a member of the Zara and the Tailor Guard. And they go, "State your business."
I have been sent to investigate a case of what would it be?
They look at each other.
Sorry, no, this is I'm
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll
You
give
just dropped this on me.
All right. Very well. Figured out. Figured out.
Would I be able to say Falcone? Like, how legit is his business?
His business is pretty legit, but he doesn't want his name associated with what you're doing.
Right. Okay. Can I just say I'm here on official temple business?
Oh, yeah, they're gonna go. Oh, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, boom. All right. All right, welcome to Grafton Post again. Things are a little different from when you last left them. There's a strong Blue Falcon presence here, but there even was last time you were here. They just do a lot of business. More specifically, there are members of the Lucinian army here, and they have mixed their way among each of the quadrants run by the noble houses after the Gingle debacle. So things are a little more tense. People are looking out. People are a little more suspicious. They got their eyes open. They got their eyes peeled. They're looking around. Now, are you like dressed in a hood? Are you covering your ears or something similar? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
Probably like a mask if I can get away with it. Like I'm.
Okay.
If that would fit.
I don't think a mask would fit, but like a white robe with a hood that completely covers your feet and goes to the ground. All of that would be like, oh, religious person. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Relatively not inconspicuous, but not suspicious. So conspicuous, but not suspicious. I'll say that. Yeah. All right. So where are you gonna head first? You have an interesting task of just finding these 3 targets in the haystack.
Well. Okay. What day is it?
Oh, that's a good question. Since the meeting was...
what time is it?
Yes, since the meeting was Thursday, this is probably going to be Tuesday, October 12th in the morning, late morning.
Okay.
Excuse me, not Tuesday, October 12th. Tuesday, October, because it was October 14th. What's after? It's after October 12th, October 14th. Tuesday, October 19th.
All right. So that means... I could probably go get Mira at the bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's late morning. Durbin would be at the pond. I don't necessarily want... if I can find him in his shack later, that might be better. And then Holden, I can probably just go sit at his table when he's at the saloon. Or sit like right next to him if he's at the bar.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess I'll go to the bakery and see if I can find Mira.
Okay. You make your way to the, what is it called? Something and Ember Bakery? Or the Flower and Ember Bakery. Yeah. Where is that? It's like right here? Yeah. That's the butcher. There's the baker. Here's the baker.
Oh,
all right.
No.
You enter the bakery in the morning. The man says, "Hello, welcome to the Flower and Ember Bakery. Can I help you?"
What do they have here? Do they only have like loaves of bread, or can I get like a little croissant thing? Do they have a display?
They do have a display. They have various selections of French bread, which is Lucinian influence mostly in this universe. Because remember, the French are real, horrifyingly. France is just floating somewhere on Earth outside of Earth.
God.
Yeah, no, great running joke in my opinion. But no, yeah, you got like some pastries and stuff. You got like little sweet rolls. Baguettes are big. They have sourdough. They're legit. They got some great stuff.
If she's not here yet, I'll just buy a pastry.
Okay, cool. He goes, "Thank you for your business. Have a great day."
You too.
Okay. Are you gonna chill in the bakery or like chill outside, nibbling your croissant and just keep an eye on the door? Like where we going here?
I guess I could wait. The guy's weird. I'm gonna stay outside.
Okay, you're just gonna chill outside, casually just enjoying the sights, eating your. You get a pastry, you said, right? Okay, cool.
What? Yeah, I mean that's what you said. They had.
Right.
I just.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to roll perception as you track the people entering our little bakery here.
How's it 8?
Not good. Miradun is a woman, presumably based on all the information you have. So you try to keep an eye on people who look like women to the best of your knowledge, and that's pretty easy. The harder part is not a whole lot of people show up to the bakery in uniform. So,
Well, okay.
like at some point, a woman with brown hair enters, maybe like 11:30. You're trying to think, like, does she look like Amira? And it's like, but she's not in uniform. She's in, like, plain black clothes with like a brown, shoulder pad thing. Yeah.
It did say that she has Tarshivian/Quain bloodline. Would that have a
That is
specific
Howden
skin tone?
Voss. Howden
Oh,
Voss
all right.
claims Tarshivian Kane, which means he would be more
You're right.
swart. It means if he's more white, like if he has mixed blood from Coruscant or somewhere else, but he claims the bloodline, he's probably going to be somewhere in the middle, like just above brown, maybe, like looking somewhat
Okay.
mixed. Mira, you don't really have info on.
She's overworked. She's gonna look tired. How many people look?
Ooh, that's so great. Roll perception again, because that's such a great question.
Okay,
What do
11.
we got? 11. Okay. The one lady with brown hair looks a little tired. Maybe she's just not a morning person, but it's a lady with light brown short hair in the black clothes and the brown. That's all you get. There aren't honestly a ton of women who stop by the shop, so that's one thing working to your advantage.
Well, I guess I'll wait till she comes out and then just ask, "Hello, are you Mira Dunn?"
All right. You want to do that for real? Because we'll queue it up. Okay. The woman exits.
I'm here on official business.
Yep. Okay. Well, she says, yes. Official business.
I didn't yell that out.
Oh, okay. Got it. So she just goes. At this point, she just goes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm confusing you by having a
Yeah.
character that speaks in my normal voice.
So she like stops. She has like her little croissant, and she's just going on. And she's like,
I am here to divine heresy.
okay.
And your name was on my list.
Whose list?
That's classified.
Oh. Okay. Okay. What? Am I under arrest?
Nothing so drastic just yet.
Are you at the Church of Savras?
Indeed.
Okay. I have to go to I have to go to work.
I just wanted to ask about a ledger found in your office.
Oh, okay.
It had ties to a Roshan spice cartel.
What? Oh. I don't know what that was. I already told. Are you with Mr. Falcone?
No.
Well then, I don't know if I'm allowed to give that information away to people who aren't with the company.
Can I tell if she's? Can I?
You'd like to roll insight?
Yeah. Look, I didn't have much time to plan here.
Yeah,
I didn't think about
throw
how...
you. I did throw you into the ringer this one.
I got a 14 on insight.
Okay. She seems a little scared and confused about your legitimacy, but it doesn't seem like she's lying or being dishonest.
Okay. Then let's do good cop. I'm gonna be like, do you have any idea who would have access to your office? Who could have planted that there?
A lot of people have access to my office, but very few people should have access to my files. We have some arcane artificer person who does the locks. There's a special... I can't talk about how it works, but I'm the only one who should be able to open it. So I don't know how it got in there. I didn't put it in there.
And the locks were not broken?
Well, they're not locks. They're magical locks, but yeah, they weren't broken.
Interesting. Very interesting.
If we're gonna keep this going, can we walk and talk? I have to go to the office.
What did he just yell?
I don't know.
That was just a guy on the street.
It's like
passing by.
Yeah, passing by the bakery.
I understand. Okay, well, if you have to get to work, then I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay. She makes her way
Can
to the
I-
office. You gonna
Yeah.
trail her?
Can I trail from a distance and
Yeah,
make
roll-
sure
roll stealth.
that she doesn't
Yep. Yep.
I got a 12. I'm not rolling above
12.
10 on any of these.
Okay. All right.
I'll use. Hang on. I'm gonna use.
She's using a thing.
I'm gonna use. Yeah, one of my features that I never used. Knowledge from a past life.
How
Adding
do
a
I be
D6.
sneaky?
This is a 1. I swear to. God damn it! It's a 1. All right. I got a
One?
13.
13.
Oh
Okay.
no.
That's crazy.
Dude.
All right. The thing really working. All right. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I've rolled a 4,
Wow.
a 7, a 10, and a 5.
That would be a 10 plus 1 for an 11.
Okay. I
Miradun
did it.
is mostly concerned about getting to work on time, so you're able to make your way through the city, loosely following her without raising any issues. She makes her
Keep
way.
tripping on the robe and like.
Yeah. She makes her way over to the Blue Falcon transport office, opens the main door, and at that point, she is in the building.
Okay.
This is, in fact, the office at which she allegedly works.
Right. Then I guess I'll go see if Holden is having lunch.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So you're gonna go to the saloon right behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty quiet at this point, midday on a Tuesday. So as you enter, the bartender says, "We don't get many religious types in here. Are you allowed to drink?"
Would I know this?
Roll history.
Natural 20.
Oh, yeah.
-1.
You've definitely seen Sable imbibe. You're allowed to drink.
Well, that's Sable. That's different.
No. The Church of Salvaras is different. They follow their
Okay.
own rules. You're allowed to drink.
Yes, the Church of
Oh.
Saros does not require such oaths.
Well, then what would you like?
I probably know like some decent. I used to drink a lot. I could probably order something.
Yeah. Some like whiskey or something. Yeah, they got a lot of.
Yeah,
options.
whatever fantasy alcohol this has.
Of course, fantasy alcohol. All right, at this point, you chill for a
I
little
don't think
bit.
it does anything for me. I don't think
No,
it.
no, you're dead. You get no benefits
Yeah.
to alcohol.
Resistance to poison.
That's it. Okay. So a little bit of time goes by. Late morning turns into afternoon as you just chill, nursing a pint. You know, the bartender chats you up a little bit. If you prefer to, be subtle, that like you're not the super talkative type, maybe he'll leave you alone because he's starting to like trying to engage because he doesn't have much to do right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I could hold like basic conversation, but if he starts asking specific questions about like Savras,
Right.
and I'm probably gonna just casually disengage.
Okay. Roll a charisma
giving-
check for casual social disengagement.
Okay. 11.
All right. The bartender's a little off-put by you as you disengage from him, but he'll leave you alone. It's not like he's suspicious. or
It's
anything.
okay if I just seem rude. That's okay, as long as
Right.
it doesn't seem like
Right. No, that's pretty much it. He's just like, here's a little rude. So, okay.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, a man walks in, and of course you just turn towards the door. It's not like the standard saloon door, but it's called a saloon. And it is in fact a rather tall man with a stern face with sharp features, lightish brown hair, but a darker skin tone. You can't exactly tell if he's like a tannish white guy or a lighter brown guy. I don't know. So that kind of tracks. He walks up, he just says, "My usual." Yep, and he walks up to the bartender and goes, "Yep. And the bartender confirms it for you, says, "How you doing today, Voss?" And Voss goes, "It's a lot to keep track of, a lot going on. Things still haven't settled down." And the bartender goes, "Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I guess I'll turn to him,
Okay.
and if he's not sitting right next to me, I'll get up and sit right next to him,
Okay.
and I'll be like, "Mr. Voss, I've been meaning to speak to you.
And you are?
An inquisitor with the Church of Saras.
And that concerns me.
Well, there have been reports of shipping records with errors signed under your seal, and word is they're coming from above your head.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could help me.
How many
track
times am I going to have to
down-
repeat this? How many times is Falcone going to send these cronies? What are you, some kind of religious kook? You're gonna.
This is
you're gonna
above
predict the
Falcone.
future? Roll intimidation or persuasion.
Intimidation, baby. I rolled a nat 1 for 13.
That is incredible. Okay. He composes himself a little bit and he says, okay, what do you want from me?
Look, I'm just looking to figure this out, right? I don't mean to bother you, but
Well,
you're...
I'd certainly appreciate it if you figure it out too, because I'm sick of my name getting dragged through the mud.
Right. So, who would have these before you? That they would be coming down incorrect in your name?
A lot of it is the stuff we do with Roshan, and his record keepers are piss poor, and his men have their own interests. I think it's something completely outside of Blue Falcon's purview. Really, I do. It's not like we work in a bubble. We deal with all sorts of people with all sorts of these problems, and most of my issues come straight from Roshan. I only do what I can. If I can rectify things, I do, but it's just not always possible. I don't know what they're up to over there. I really don't.
Can I insight?
You can insight.
14.
Contested by my deception or persuasion, which you don't know. I did bad. You're not convinced. He seems to be struggling to make eye contact with you and is visibly uncomfortable, and for more reasons than just that he's like putting on this, oh, I'm so tired of this, I'm so innocent, but he's on edge.
Okay.
The bartender at this point is a little uncomfortable, so he's just gonna go to the back, and if anybody comes in, the little bell's gonna ring, so he'll know. So he's just gonna leave you guys alone.
Good. Okay. Interesting. I'm thinking. I don't know if I want to go for intimidation or just straight up zone of truth. I think I'm going to try intimidation. I think I'm just going to lean in.
Okay.
And be like...
Go all in.
I think I'll stick with the good cop routine. And I think I'll go with... If you're in danger, you can tell me.
Okay, that's not going to be... That's not intimidation, though. Good cop is persuasion.
You're right. That's okay.
Okay.
That's 17.
Ooh. He looks like he's processing it. And what you realize is what you've done... the more you watch his mannerisms, you're not the most insightful person, but you spend a lot of time around people, and you spend a lot of time around liars. And what you've done is a trick that interrogators like Grodger use to lower the bar of confession. And he jumps on it. But you're not confident that he's doing this because it's true. You're confident he's doing it because you lowered the bar of confession. So he begins, and he says, I'll be honest, I've been under a lot of pressure from House Roshan. I've signed off on things I shouldn't have, but it's because they've threatened me. They have their own goals, they're operating against Falcone, and if I don't do what they want, they're going to come after me. The reality is, I want to keep this job, I want to keep this permission. I got a lot of perks in this job. I like this job. I like the Falcones. I don't have any problem. I don't have any problems with Xerxes. I got nothing. I hate all the revolutionary nonsense that's going on. It's crazy. But I need these Roshan guys off my back. And I don't know if it's not Mr. Falcone, whatever. Somebody needs to start locking that down, because my life has been threatened multiple times.
Okay, can I do another insight, or is he?
You can do another insight, and I'm gonna do another persuasion or deception.
I'm gonna do another knowledge from a past life. Okay, I got 14.
14. Okay. He seems pretty genuine. He seems like he's really. You might have been off. This might be it. He seems he's concerned, and he's stressed, and it feels real.
Okay. Can you give me names?
I don't know him, other than I think the Sultan himself. Narif is involved somehow, but his men, they don't identify themselves. I just have contacts that they know more about me than they should, and if I'm not in line, then they'll act on that knowledge.
Right. So it's this guy specifically, if theoretically, if he were to disappear,
Yeah.
his replacement wouldn't have the same problems. Theoretically.
No. Theoretically, no.
Okay.
But you haven't proven that he's the mole.
Right. He just said he's been. Okay. You're right. He's just been signing off on stuff he shouldn't be signing off on.
But is he the mole?
That doesn't mean he
Doesn't mean he's the mole.
feeding information.
To Xerxes.
Well, wait.
Because that's the implication. I don't know if you're clued in on that, but the implication of Malachi's meeting with Falcone is that the mole is working against Blue Falcon Delivery, like, from the top.
Okay. Let me think. The Roshan Archive, is that a place, or is that what is that?
It's like a physical. It's a document, basically. It's not a physical place.
So it would be in, like, where would that be?
Somewhere in House Roshan's possession, maybe in Grafton Post, but likely in House Roshan, not physically here. All of those manifests.
How would that be like how would someone go about? I'm trying to figure out the logistics of this.
Of how this would work.
Is this a situation where it's like a piece of paper is being misfiled, or is this like they're altering an actual book?
So
somehow?
This would be an addition of info. So, like, the Roshan Archive is going to have a list of business dealings, right? And there's going to be manifests that detail what that is, income, costs, whatever. These are additional manifests that are being slipped into them.
Okay.
That are not legitimate. So it's not like information isn't being altered, it's being added.
So this is a person that's... Okay.
So this is someone who... Because this is where it's interesting. You got an... Roll for me an investigation check.
No!
Watch you roll a nat 20 on this one now.
I got a 5 - 1.
You struggle to piece it together.
I got 1 nat 20 and everything else.
Something in your instinct tells you that something's off here, but you can't piece it together because there's too much you don't know. If only there was an investigator who could just see the line. If only.
Why'd they send me to do this? They should have sent him to find them all, and then I am the blunt instrument.
He's doing the work. You were the only one, Callie. You're the only one.
Okay. Does this guy have anything on him that is, for the purposes of locate object, if I want to find him later, is there anything very particular that I could memorize?
Does it have to be specifically unique to him, or can it just be an identifiable thing?
A specific object known to you if you have seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. So theoretically, I can find like his coat. I'm just at like if he's wearing glasses or if he's got like
A blue
pocket
Falcon,
watch.
a blue Falcon delivery pin.
Okay.
Like it's a silver pin. It's actually a pin of a silver Falcon, but engraved in it is blue Falcon.
All
Mira
right.
was actually wearing one as well.
Could I keep those both like separate in my mind?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to say thank you for your help. I will find you later if I have further questions.
Please, let me know if you need assistance, because I want this resolved.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Inquisitor.
I'm gonna go try to find Durbin. Would he still be at the pond? I guess it's
Maybe.
probably still like noon.
Yeah, it's like maybe 1 p.m. It's
Yeah.
difficult to know because Durbin, you don't have a ton of information. You can head to the pond. There's no dwarves by the pond when you go over there, and Durbin was listed as a contractor, so he could be all over the place. There's a possibility he isn't in town today, but he's supposed to be.
Right.
Hence why Tuesday was chosen. There's the greatest likelihood that all three would be in the area and you could investigate.
Would I know what shack he's in, or is all the information I have just a shack?
The shack states that it's in the Roshan Quadrant, and the Roshan Quadrant is down here. So there's only so many buildings, and if he's always by the lake, it's one of these little buildings. And the only two that are that could be considered shack-like are like these two buildings.
Okay.
They're pretty nice, but they are very small. Every other building is large or commercial, or there's like a little garden there. But these two by the lake.
I guess it could just, if there's people hanging around here, like NPC number 1, 2, and 3 right there, I could
these
just ask them like,
yeah, the NPCs. Mhm.
"Hey, I'm looking for Durbin Casshammer.
Well,
Have
this
you
is
seen
actually a
it?"
group of children like playing children's games, so they're gonna look at you
Okay.
weird. But this guy's fishing in the lake.
I'll go talk to the fisherman then.
Okay, you approach the
Not
fisherman.
bother the children.
Yep.
Oh, I'm looking for a dwarf named Durbin. Have you seen him around?
No, I haven't seen him today, but he lives right there, and he literally points to the house right behind you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sometimes he's not always in, but he and I have chatted at fishing every now and again. Yeah.
Well, if he's not there, I'll just come back later. Thank you.
Yes, it's all good.
I'll go knock on the door.
Okay. There's no response. However, there's a convenient side alley. It's very narrow.
For what purposes?
There's a window on the side of that alley, and nobody's really in the alley right now.
Well, I suppose I could go. I could go peek through the window.
All right, roll for me perception.
Is he gonna be dead? 19.
Okay. You look inside, and it doesn't seem that there's anybody home. It is a humble little shack. There isn't much here other than a bed, a shelf full of books and ledgers, and a little safe in the corner.
I could investigate his house while he's not home.
You could do that. It's a thing you're
I
allowed
could
to
do
do.
that.
What's fucked up?
Can the fisherman still see me?
He's not
Like,
paying
could
attention. No. I mean, he could, but nobody's
Can I
paying
try to pop the window? I assume it's locked, but I'm just gonna try it first.
Well, why don't you roll sleight of hand?
I'm actually not great at that.
Do you have a set of thieves' tools? You do.
I
So,
do.
yeah, just roll me a sleight of hand, please.
I did roll sleight of hand. I have proficiency for my thieves' tools?
Do you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then it would be sleight of hand is a 9 plus 4 from proficiency would be 13.
But you already have proficiency with. It's already listed.
I
in your
don't have
tool.
proficiency with sleight of hand.
Oh. So you're saying that's
Is
a
proficient-
13?
Yeah, I think you. Yeah, because Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Either way, it's not gonna do it. So
Okay. Well, I'll Misty Step inside.
okay, well that'll certainly work. Just as
Yeah.
soon as somebody goes, is there somebody going? Oh, well, no, okay. There's nobody there
No.
because you Misty stepped in. All right, you're in the middle of a small room. Safe, shelf of ledgers.
All right. I'm gonna check the ledgers first.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so boring. There's so much information here. What's interesting is that as you make your way through a bunch of paperwork that you're not super interested in reading, one of these is a journal that's off to the side. Somebody has been doing your job for you and is a little bit pissed off that a bunch of shipments from Roshan aren't going where they need to be, and he's taking the fire. This
Okay.
contains a list of suspects that Durbin has assembled himself. And
Whoa!
many have been crossed off. He has been working on the investigation. Every now and again, there's a comment where in his journal he'll write like, "Dear Journal, I am getting sick of this bullcrap. I think I'm gonna quit if things don't get better in 2 weeks." And then we'll have pages of his investigative notes. It's a little all over the place, but he has mapped it out, and he is fairly certain, due to a manifest that he has heard about and has been trying to find that has gone missing. He is looking for something that is going to prove that it's Voss so that he can take it to Falcone. And
Okay.
he really, really wants to get it. But what he's looking for, he hasn't been able to find. It is a manifest about a missing shipment of Rashan-produced incense for the Church of Savras, conveniently, that never got delivered. And
Okay.
whoever holds
actually-
whoever holds that manifest, that missing manifest, if that's somewhere, if it hasn't been burned, and a part of it might still exist, he wants to find it, and he's pretty sure Voss has it and hasn't gotten to burn it yet
Interesting. Okay.
because he misplaced it. That's his theory. And if it shows up and the delivery wasn't made and it's anywhere in Voss's possessions, he's implicated.
Can I remember this journal, or like
Yeah.
I don't need to take it, do I?
No, you don't need
Okay.
to take it. Yeah.
Then I mean, I'm just gonna let myself out the front door.
Yep. And you look like you belong there, right?
Yeah.
Roll performance
Sure.
to look like you belong there.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, we got dirty 20.
Oh yeah. Everybody goes, oh yeah, okay. You look the part. Nobody questions it.
Can I use my thieves' tools to lock the door behind me? I feel like that's probably easier than lock picking. It's just twisting the lock back.
roll with advantage.
Okay.
Or you can just lock the door on your way out. Like
Yeah, I got a
normal
nat-
person. Yeah, it's fine.
nat
you
20.
just quickly go lock the door. All right.
Cool.
Carry on.
Interesting. I am going to go see if I can find Voss. I'm not going to use locate object yet.
Right. So, Voss works, as it was disclosed to you, at the Grafton Customs Hall. And the Grafton Customs Hall is actually closer to the center. This is not... Where's my thing? I didn't think I labeled it, but I knew where it was. It was supposed to be... Which one was I going to make it? It's supposed to be in this row of buildings. Like attached to the inn. This is supposed to be this. How do I...
Queestum.
Queestums. I didn't spell it wrong. Customs Hall. There we go. It's supposed to be like this, attached to the end. So, you make way to the.
Before I do this, would I be able to like arrest him, turn him over, or am I just gonna have to take him out back? Like, what is my end game here? What are my options?
You're the player. This is your little adventure.
I know.
It's up to you, really.
If I found evidence on him, if he had the manifest on him, would I be able to turn him over to the guards, and would they accept that, to my knowledge?
Maybe, maybe not. You don't know how many people have access to this information that Durbin has, and if you have everything, if you had Durbin's journal and the manifest, or, you know, if you just took the manifest when you found it and you just put it in with Durbin's stuff, or, you know, slipped it under his door, the dude would go down, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, and then you don't even have to kill anyone.
Yeah, my plan was to find Voss and Zone of Truth him and be like, "Where's the manifest? Where is she?"
You can do that.
But I mean, if my best option is like, I don't know. I mean, okay, theoretically.
It's also Durbin said he thinks that Voss misplaced it before he was able to burn it. So it has to be. So Voss needs to find it and get rid of it.
So I can go toss his office.
Yes.
Maybe. If he's not there.
Maybe.
Okay.
Are you entering the customs hall?
I suppose, yeah, if that's where his office
That's
would
where
be.
his office is. You walk into the Grafton Customs Hall. There's nobody exactly here to greet you. It's not like a public-facing building, per se. But eventually somebody comes by and looks at you like you're not supposed to be here while they're walking by with a little leather-bound ledger, and they're like, "You looking for someone?"
Do
you have
I'm really tempted to just go official temple business and push past them.
You can do that. It's whatever you want.
I'm just, I mean, less aggressive, but I'm basically going to say I'm on an official investigation. And that's
roll persuasion or intimidation.
I'll go intimidation. 25.
All right, the dude goes, "Okay, yep, all right." All right. Explore as needed. You're looking for Voss's office?
Yep.
Well, as you look around between the doors of the offices in the custom hall, as you go to the second floor where the offices mainly are, you hear a lot of commotion coming from one office, and lo and behold, the door says, what's his first name? I already forget. Howden Voss? Yeah, the door on it says Howden Voss, and then what job title did I give him? Howden Voss,
Scribe.
Senior Scribe. Yeah, there we go. And you can just hear.
I don't smell smoke, do I?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think here. I'm still trying to figure out what my end game is.
Right.
Theoretically, if I found this manifest and told him to get out of town and basically like, time for you to go off grid, buddy, would that solve my problem? It would, right? Because then he's no longer
if he
working
actually listened to you, yeah.
Well, if he doesn't listen to me, then he's going to get got by Durbin.
Theoretically, as long as you have the manifest.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. If I found the manifest.
If you found the manifest, yeah. It sounds like he's tossing his office currently, just for reference.
Can I? I might just wait here.
Okay.
Until I hear the tossing stop, because then he's doing my job for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Some people come by in the hallway and they just go, "Hello," and then they look at the door with like the noise coming behind boss, and they just kind of move on and keep to themselves. After about 10 minutes, you finally hear, "Yes, yes, oh."
I open the door.
Okay, it's locked. Boss immediately goes, "Who's there? What? I'm busy."
It's the Inquisitor.
I'm in the middle of something. I can be with you momentarily.
I'm gonna lockpick the door.
All right, roll sleight of hand.
Yeah, with my sleight of hand +4. Okay, we got dirty
Boom.
20.
You're immediately in. You catch Voss with a candle actively to a piece of paper going, "Oh."
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna. Can I swipe the paper or
Roll
like,
initiative.
Oh boy. Okay, I
Well,
got a 27.
He didn't get a 27. You're up.
Yeah, I mean, mechanically, can I like swat the candle or grab the paper?
Yeah. If you would like to do it dexterous, like you can do sleight of hand, or if you want to grab the guy's wrist and yank it out, you can do athletics. However you want to do it.
They're both the same. I'll do sleight of hand to try to swipe the
Just
paper.
swipe the paper before it goes ablaze.
Natural 20.
Okay, with a natural 20, Boss goes, "Ooh!" You
It was
zoom,
right.
you zoom
It was
towards
right.
him, sprinting across the room, hop right over his desk, immediately swipe the paper from him. He goes, and now he just has the candle. He drops the candle. It lights a fire on the ground where the other papers are, and now he's immediately frantically going, ah, ah, and he's trying to stomp out the fire from the other papers. He stomps it out. That's his turn.
Okay.
You probably don't need initiative anymore, but now it's up to you.
I'm just gonna like immediately fold the paper up, stick it in a pocket, and just say I would recommend moving on.
Roll initiative with advantage, or not intimidation with advantage.
Okay, 24.
Okay. All right. He runs outside.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna walk back to Durbin's place then.
Calmly back to Durbin's. Yep. Okay. You calmly walk back to Durbin's. Durbin's door is open, and he's currently suspicious because his things have been moved, and he's rifling through. The door's mostly closed, but you can hear him going, talking to himself in Dwarvish.
I'm gonna knock and just say, delivery.
Right. He opens the door and goes, "What? I didn't order anything. What is it?"
I'm gonna hand him gonna hold out the paper.
Oh. How'd you get this? Who are you?
I'm Inquisitor.
You invaded my house.
Did I?
Maybe.
Listen, Voss is on his way out of town.
I'll get this where it needs to go.
Good.
Thank you, Inquisitor. And he reaches out to shake your hand.
I'll shake his hand.
Okay, all right.
Probably a little clammy.
And then he goes, "And never invade my house again." And then he shuts the door.
Whatever do you mean? The door was locked. So was the window. Just the most suspicious thing to say.
All right, well, theoretically, mission accomplished.
Yeah. Do I have to? Is there anyone I should could check in with? Like, should I go see Falcone, or should I?
You can
should I
check
just
in
leave?
with a Blue Falcon guard that was designated as like an emergency type contact and confirm what you've done.
Yeah, I'll
nice
let
and
them
on the
know
down low. Yeah.
if they want to catch their guy.
He's gonna
It's
be
Voss,
running. Yeah.
and the evidence is coming in soon.
Okay.
If they're good with just letting him run off into the night, then that's already happening.
Okay. Well done.
That's a good thing you didn't listen to me.
All right.
I don't know what you said.
When you guys went, what was that guy yelling? I said, "Oh, it's her, killer."
That's funny.
Yeah, okay. My plan was to go to Durbin and talk to him, and if he put off any suspicion at all, because I was already suspecting the first two, I was just going to jump to Zone of Truth.
Yeah.
And then immediately go find the other two in Zone of Truth them as well, just to be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done playing.
Yeah, no more games.
I'm done playing the investigator here. I'm figuring this out. But
Oh, that was funny.
it was good. Okay.
Very funny. A Cagliari kills with no Cagliari killing.
Yeah. Well, I
Wow.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. If they catch him, there might be a kill involved.
Yeah. But your hands will be clean. So, that works.
Look,
Good
I
job,
mean-
great job.
I could have just, yeah. I could have killed him in his office, but then that's just like more. That's suspicious on Falcone's part. So
I think you did great. I think it's gonna end well. And
Yay.
also Durbin is gonna be able to get credit as being the one to take down the mole. So everybody wins. Everybody wins in this episode of Cagliari Kills, the return to Grafton Post.
yeah, and then I'll let them know that Mira was like cooperative and chill.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good job. Well done. You don't level up, but I think you did a good job. So, I don't know if words of affirmation are enough for you, but I think that was great. It was a fun time. Good time was had by all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it.
You did do it. So proud of you. All right.
And now time for the security guard of investigators and interrogators. The mall cop of investigators and interrogators.
You're the mall cop?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
He is to mall cops, or he is to investigators and interrogators as mall cops are to police.
Right. Okay. Well, I was going to loop Brendan back in to give him something, but he said he has to go shred pulled pork that they smoked today. So
you should add what I wrote too, just for the audience.
The smoking pig. I can't even pull it up on the stream. I would have to take a screenshot and then put it up in MS Paint. It's just an emoji of a pig and a cigarette. There's not really much to comment on, but Oh wait, I get it. He smoked the pig, so the pig is smoking. Okay, yeah.
For the record of the recording, Brendan said that, mark my words, next combat you will roll incredibly. I rolled initiative and then I rolled nat 20.
Yep, it's true.
He was 100% correct.
He was literally right.
If you count that as combat.
Wait, hold up. I can make it even better.
Yeah,
What?
How's he making it better? Oh, he's making it so that the emoji displays correctly, so the pig's actually smoking it.
Good. Very good.
Okay. All right, Grodger. We're trimming the timeline. We're going higher level for your investigation. You got a lot of stuff that I need you to find out. So what was the music I was playing? Detective music. Royalty free. 35 minutes. This will save the economy. See if I even like this. Alright, Grodger. We last left off about Saturday, October 9th, after one day of investigation. You had tracked down some loose connections relating to Petrus Nacht. You received a prophecy.
Feeling very detective-y right now after the music.
Yeah. You received a prophecy from a lady who was somewhat of a religious something, prophet, oracle, as she said. She told you about the Serpent Queen. You also tracked down some connections with this Petrus Nacht fellow, I believe. What did you track down? I remembered you had looked at the Anguilla North Hill plantation. You had learned about the Anguillas. Did you take notes? You have notes on? Because unfortunately, I have what I know. I don't have what you know. As clearly.
I mean, that's kind of what I got.
Okay.
I have the prophecy, and then I need to go investigate this North Plantation.
Okay. And did you remember the impetus for why you were investigating the North Plantation? Because you had asked around about Petrus Nacht, right? And that old man kind of told you.
I know why I think I should. I don't quite remember why they told me I should.
Okay, but why should you? Just in your own
because
words.
It is the next step of finding out who Petrus Nacht has something to do with this location.
This plantation. Got it. Okay. All right, that's good enough for me. That tracks with what I have. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. I'm gonna keep things high.
What they specifically said, I don't remember, but I remember that I need to be here to find that.
That's enough for me to work with. So at a high level, I'm gonna keep things simple. You still have choices though. If you're investigating the Anguilla North Plantation, you have the option of being overt or covert. Obviously with their own benefits and downsides. Which would you prefer?
It's all going to depend on if Malik is coming with me or not.
That is your decision to make. He'll hold back if you're going covert. If you're going overt, he'll probably come with you. But you're authorized to make that
leave him
call.
in a bush somewhere.
Yeah, he knows how to protect himself. It's you
Yeah,
he's
it's good.
supposed to be keeping, an eye on. So if
It's
you
gonna
go
be funny when I
covert,
leave him in a bush for 40 hours.
maybe. Overt or covert?
I'm gonna go covert.
Okay. What I'm going to need is a stealth check, and then I don't even think you need to roll investigation at this point. But I do need stealth.
What am I rolling for software update?
Okay, got it.
I don't know why I was just prompted for that, but I was.
Sunday, October 10th.
How does that work?
What do we got? 17? Okay. With the 17, you're able to plan a route to try to covertly get
I mean, I think it's
information.
technically a 21, but we can just,
Oh, okay. It
we
should
can
be
just go.
should be fine either way. This plantation is pretty big in terms of buildings with usable information and people that you could talk to without arising suspicion. You're a little limited. There is
What if I do the thing from Sly Cooper where I do a little twirl in the air and then I look like one of the guards?
you have disguise self, right?
That would be a good thing to have. Do I have that?
I thought you did. I thought you had it.
I do. I
So
can
you
use it once.
specifically can do a little twirl in the air and look
Awesome.
like one
And
of the
I can
guards.
walk up and I go, "Fettuccine Badini," and he goes, "What? We don't talk like that, man."
No. You
Think
can
of
do
it, there's a
that
gem of a game.
while averting suspicion and keeping mostly out of the eyes of people. The guards are not dressed super formally. They're a little darker skinned than you, but their outfits aren't anything crazy. It's largely easy to blend in so long as you keep out of direct line of sight with, the big shot guards who know that you don't belong.
I think this belongs here.
One thing you can target to look at is there is a plantation office that, after combing through the fields, sticking and laying low, and making your way through acres upon acres of plantation, you finally find this main office. You've been looking for a logistical building for a lot of things. Of course, it's the Anguilla North Hill Plantation. Most of the buildings are on the top of the hill. The plantation is on the flatter parts going outwards. You are going to need to make a sleight of hand check to get into the plantation office and navigate there, but your stealth check will carry through that.
All right, I'm gonna make the sleight of hand, but you gotta go look at the thing I sent you.
Okay?
It's in our chat.
I'm looking at the thing you sent me. Yep.
All right, I got a 15.
All right, cool. I'm just going to put this right here. This is the Anguilla North Hill Plantation Guards, according to the strange world that exists in Nick's mind. Okay, 15 isn't great.
Roger has pyrovision.
Yeah, he does. 15 isn't great. It is the bare minimum of what you need to get in the door and not make a mess. As you start sleuthing around, there's a lot of information to cover here, and it's difficult to process it all. But given the time of day and the day of the week, there's not a whole lot of people here. So you pretty much have free reign of this place. Nobody is prepared at this plantation for the type of espionage you're currently performing. They had guards around the plantation grounds, but effectively what keeps people out of this plantation is the social power that the Anguillas wield, and you being an outside player kind of don't play by those rules. So you've actually had a relatively easy time navigating the plantation, using the lay of the land to your advantage, and getting to this position. It takes a lot of digging, for about like 2 hours, but you eventually find something hidden among some personal effects of maybe some of the plantation heads. You struggle to piece together names and identities of who's running it. A lot of these documents aren't of interest to you, but they paint you a picture of the scale of the Anguilla's operation. The first thing you see that's really of interest to you was in the locked office of a former a clerk's diary is contained within this office. And it appears to be a former clerk. Perhaps it's the same clerk, but this has logs going much further back that contain not just the logistical aspects of running the business and ledgers and other such effects. It contains a more personal view of what was going on in the plantation from the clerk's perspective. This is a real part of plantation history. And you learn quite a bit of information from this diary. It was hidden away in a small safe, not particularly of any prominence or particularly well locked. You picked the lock with relative ease. And the journal itself is falling apart at the edges. But it contains the most valuable information. For the first time, you get a name to link to Petrus, and the name is Mila Nacht. Mila was an Anguilla or something. You don't have a ton of information on her origin, but the clerk begins identifying her as Mila Nacht, and you realize that this is theoretically Xerxes' first wife. Petrus Nacht is mentioned by name shortly after Mila. And it's clear that this clerk is chronicling that Petrus did buy this plantation. The diary also mentions very strange omens that occurred during Mila's pregnancy, and for the first time, a name also jumps out of the page at you, Lionel Reinhardt, bright as day. And it describes him as a silent, watchful manservant, always present in the background. As you read the journal, you have some very interesting notes from the clerk where there were some rumors that the couple wasn't completely honest with each other, and that apparently Petrus Nacht hadn't been forthright about his true age. And so there was some drama into the marriage about how old Petrus really was and where he had come from. And at the end of the diary, it does state that Mila did in fact die in childbirth. And she bore...
birth to the queen of sin.
She bore a daughter. And strange omens occurred during that pregnancy.
That's interesting. We've never seen a daughter before.
All chronicled by an old plantation clerk named Sawyer.
Right, screenshot.
So I think I'm going to
I would like to perform...
Yes.
I would like to do a quick jotting down of all that onto my handy-dandy notebook that I have.
I'm going to give you... I would advise that you watch the recording if you can, because I also would be good for me to do that. But I'm going to give you the snippet of the journal entry that I have. I expounded on this a little bit, but all of this should be accurate.
Kind of interesting you posted that in the Sly Cooper chat.
I did post it in the Sly Cooper chat. So, you have learned about Xerxes' first wife, her pregnancy, some lies about his age, and her eventual death in childbirth after strange omens during her pregnancy.
All right.
Now, technically,
am I safe? Am I good?
You are currently good. No one has discovered you. It will be known likely that you were here unless you are careful to cover your tracks.
Do I have a gift for that?
Yeah. Is there you have a gift for that, you said? Okay, he's gonna... You just sent a gif of Sly Cooper putting the stupid little raccoon thing in the safe in the first game after he loots it. Or maybe that's the second game, I don't know.
Calling card?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what that is. Are you actually leaving a calling card? It's such an
What if can I like fold a paper an origami crane or something?
Yeah, sure. Is that a thing that Roger can do? Is that one of his special skills?
Nah.
Okay.
I think you should make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check for folding.
Like a paper airplane.
Yeah. That's fine.
Ooh, that's good actually. That's exactly what I wanted. I got a 6.
Okay. And I'm gonna give you this other
So it's
thing.
just a mangled piece of paper just left on the desk.
Apparently. I'm gonna give you
It's
this
your
as
calling
well.
card. You have to remake that every time.
Dude, let me tell you, I gave ChatGPT so much information and like then assembled it in the document and whatever. It did pretty good though, because I gave it a lot, and it made it really clean and easy to organize. So there's like 2 splits of information that mostly cover the same thing, but if you need specifics,
Kind of interesting. It says parentheses Ravenna. I didn't piece that together.
Right, of course, of course. Who else would it be? Yeah,
She couldn't possibly be evil.
She couldn't possibly be the Queen of Serpents.
All
All
right,
right.
I just be so out of character.
So you've learned a lot of great information. The question is, where do you go from here? You learned a little bit about this Yuan-Ti prophecy.
I'm going to obviously go back to Malik.
Of
and
course.
We can put our heads together.
And figure out that it's definitely Ravenna, right? Because the guy with a passive 24, a passive 25 investigation can't put together that it's Ravenna. Blinded by love.
No, she would never.
She would never.
She's just like a little misunderstood. She gets angry, you know.
Right. All right, what is next? Where do you go from here? There is much more to uncover.
That's why we're talking about Malik. Like,
okay.
We have gathered some information that does pertain to what we were sent here to do, but there is more information to uncover.
There is.
Do we continue or do we go back?
You should continue. Malik will tell you should continue, and he's going
Malik,
to convey all of this to Malachi, because Malachi is sending to him throughout this entire process. So you've already learned great info, but there's more.
Click.
I'm on like, there's the Dark Jazz playlist, my beloved. This is what we were missing. This is more appropriate. All right, so that was like one to 2 days. We got a lot of ground to cover. So
yeah, the company work trip is covered for
crazy.
7 days.
Yeah. 7. They're paying you for 7 days of work. You're gonna work 7 days.
So we party.
All right, what's it gonna be? Where are we going? In a sense,
I guess
the trail is cold, but
more about this Yuan-Ti prophecy.
Okay, so you're gonna dig deeper into that. Okay.
There's gonna be 2 routes for that. It's gonna be either old people or religious people. We're gonna go for religious right now.
Religious people. Okay, that sounds great. Roll for me. No, you don't even need to roll for this. It's fine. You have already met the Yuan-Ti priestess, prophet, whatever you want to call her. You don't know exactly if she's Yuan-Ti per se, but you have a feeling that something's going on there. Some of the people here have very bold green eyes, which is not something you see often on Mandril. And as you observe their behaviors, there are a lot of people who appear to be Yuan-Ti pureblood. You wouldn't notice if you weren't really paying attention, but you're familiar enough to know that there's something going on here. And to really learn about the Queen of Serpents and this prophecy, you may have to delve into social pits that are not accessible to the public veneer that is Cassitus. You're going to have to go more into the belly of the beast. Now, you have a connection with this prophetess who you've already met, and so you begin making your way around the city, inquiring of the proper circles. Of course, it's very difficult to gain trust with these people as an outsider. The Yuan-Ti are, they have some weird rituals, and they're not particularly well liked, even on Cassitus, so they're very protective of their ways. But you have a pretty good feeling that if you're going to learn about this prophecy, you need to delve into these Yuan-Ti circles. So roll for me persuasion as you go about convincing the right people that you can be trusted.
I must become a snake.
You must.
Must become a snake. 19.
19, okay. It proves difficult, and not all the conversations you have are pleasant, but eventually you do fall into the right group of people, and you're actually able to re-meet up with that prophetess who you spoke to earlier. And now
I'm radicalized now.
Yeah, you are radicalized. In a small group of people, how much information are you volunteering about what you're doing? because they're going to be
Okay,
a little hesitant
Let's
to
let's
give
let's
it up.
flip a coin to see if Grudger does the classic Grudger technique and
Yeah.
never lie.
Never lie.
Leak literally. All right, never lies. It leaks literally everything.
Okay, cool. That's going to buy you actually a lot of social credit with them. So
Chinese
that
social credit up.
that was the correct
Plus
move.
1 billion.
That was the
social credit.
correct move.
9
so-
overlapping plus $1,000.
Yes. As you find your way in this Yuan Ti circle, in the back alleys, in some of the dungeons and the private ritual halls that very few people on Cassidus see, the prophetess that you had met earlier is confident that you're here to do good. And she reaffirms that because you have a connection with this Serpent Queen, this Queen of Two Fates, that you are pivotal. And your
I can figure out
forthrightness,
who that was.
your forthrightness in revealing your purpose here quickly gains trust among the Yuan Ti. Ravenna is a Yuan Ti pureblood. Mila has Yuan Ti blood in her system. That has resulted in a number of traits Ravenna possesses that are rarely seen in the rest of Mandril. She is a sorcerer, but she's not a draconic sorcerer. She gets power straight from the strange rituals that the Yuan Ti priestesses and handmaidens had performed over Mila, because they had a very specific vision of what they wanted that child to be, and Mila was very involved in the occult here as a Yuan Ti herself. And Xerxes was Xerxes, or Petrus, as they know him, was very bought into these rituals because he was always interested in having powerful progeny. Of course, he was hoping for a son, but when Ravenna was born, she was everything he was looking for, as far as they could tell. But, you know, when all of this fell out, when everything went south, it was very difficult because the Church of the Yuan Ti here and their practices, Petrus did not have a great relationship with them after Mila died, because she died due to complications during childbirth that are very related to the rituals. So he sort of blamed them, perhaps as a way of protecting himself from blaming Ravenna. And it has resulted in a lot of tension to this day about the Yuan Ti and how this has all happened. And the fallout of Mila dying was disastrous in the way that it impacted very specific people on Cassidus. It affected the way that Anguilla Plantation was being run. It affected a lot of other business relationships. There was a serious stir in these circles in Mila's death. But Ravenna is tied up in all of this. And even though it doesn't seem that Petrus blames Ravenna, Petrus doesn't blame Ravenna for the death of Mila. He blames these Yuan Ti, but he still is enchanted by her power because she is the point of a prophecy. She's called the Serpent Queen, but also the Queen of Two Fates, which members of the Church of Savras on Cassidus, who are also involved in this, there are some Yuan Ti who worship Savras here, have seen that her life takes two radical paths that have yet to be determined which one they will take. There are many conflicting prophecies because all of the prophecies are conditional. There's no set path for Ravenna, but many of her paths end in tragedy. And this is largely what you learn speaking with the religious circle here. They give you some other information about what they know about Petrus, because now that you're in this religious circle, these are people who have a lot of information about what Petrus did here. And they don't have a ton of other leads, but they give you a better idea of how much property Petrus owned when he was here. And it's quite shocking, the amount of wealth that he must have had to be able to invest in those properties or turn them around. He owned a vineyard, allegedly, but now that vineyard is in dispute of who owns it, the Anguillas or another family. And that vineyard is is a property that Petrus spent a lot of time at in his early time here, before he had met Mila, also during. And now, upon his departure, it seems that some of the houses in these circles have been disputing who owns that vineyard, but they know that Petrus spent a lot of time there, and would advise that if you're really interested in uncovering this, because their angle, Grodger, is they want you to save Ravenna, because she's the Serpent Queen. And the Serpent Queen, she must be guided to her true and proper fate so that she can avoid the tragedy that befell her mother. So that's their angle. So they're actually very willing to help you to try to learn anything you can to help her.
Mm-hmm.
But all they have for you now is maybe the vineyard holds some answers. So, well done. Now what?
I think I'm gonna chill.
You're gonna chill for a bit?
A hard day's work.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Gotta
but
drink some water.
That's cool. That's great and all. But there's more days. So endless toil. Let's go. What's next? You got a whole week to cover.
To the vineyard.
Go to the vineyard. All right. This vineyard is actually owned theoretically by House Verdea. I can't give a ton of information. You have to tell me how you want to proceed. Again, overt, covert. This vineyard isn't currently owned by the Anguillas.
I'm gonna go covert again.
You're gonna go covert. Okay. Is there anybody you're willing to talk to, or are you gonna try to stealth into the location and try to get information again? Sneaky like.
It depends on if a day has passed.
Yeah, you can let a lot of time pass. You can afford to let a day pass, absolutely.
Okay, because then I can use disguise self again.
Yeah. You went to the plantation Sunday, October 10th.
Willing to talk to others.
Roger 2UNT. I'm writing down these dates. That was Tuesday, October 12th. This could be Wednesday, October 13th. So what was your approach?
Covert.
Covert, going in the middle of the night? To see what there is to see?
Sure.
Okay, roll stealth again.
Click at the stealth button.
It's so funny how this is all working out.
I get a 20.
I'm getting so lucky, it's like I don't even... It just like happens. You're just making decisions that make my life easy. It's so rare that this happens.
Yeah, all these notes you keep passing under the table really make it easy.
Yeah, that I'm paying you off so this goes well. Yeah. No, it's just really funny because, like, I mean, the benefit is I tried to design this. You can kind of take it anyway, and you'll get what you need as long as you're meeting your roles. But it's just interesting because you're going to encounter something that I didn't know if you would organically encounter, and you are very much going to do it now. It's a very nice vineyard. It's less ground to cover. It's harder to hide. The security is lower than the Anguillas. Nobody is really prowling at night in the middle of the vineyard. You know, there's some workers who are around, but again, it's pretty easy to disguise yourself, and if you walk like you should be there, then you won't arouse too much suspicion. But here's the thing. As you enter the vineyard, you get a little bit uncomfortable. There's a fog on the ground. It's a little bit eerie. A chill runs up your spine. And you're just not exactly sure what it is. I want you to roll perception or investigation, something. Use your senses for me.
Said investigation or perception?
Mm-hmm.
It's more of perception type. 21.
21. Okay. Something is wrong. You feel like you're being watched, and not by anyone working the fields or anything like that. There's a presence here, a haunting, and then a voice. Wilhelm. It echoes
Aliens.
around the vineyard in the middle of the night. You struggle to identify its origin, but your senses are finely tuned. You follow the echoey, disembodied voice to a body that can barely be perceived. A spectral body. When you see someone cast mirror image or blur, your vision of them is faded. They split into many parts and they can't be clearly perceived. The spectral figure before you is much like that. They seem to be in multiple places, shambling around, not exactly walking so much as floating in agony. And the name repeats from this vague clump of this one spirit being shattered across the vineyard. Wilhelm. You actually have experience with this type of creature, Grouger. You've encountered it before. This is a ghost.
Freaking ghost.
Ghost.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to do?
Oh, ghost. Why am I a ghost?
You're addressing the ghost?
What is wrong with you? I think I gotta speak on his level so he understands.
Roll persuasion for me.
Cushion. I got a 6.
6. It looks at you.
Man, I'm gonna
Roger,
be 655
I was gonna say,
again.
Roger, you know what's about to happen because it's already happened to you. So I'm going to give you advantage on this saving throw. DC 13. I believe it is a wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be freaking old again.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It is
The beach that makes you old.
Oh no! They get rid of it. It's not in the new ghost stat block.
Saved by
No.
Saved by game design.
No.
Saved by coastal wizards.
Woo! A far off wizard conclave. Maybe one on the coast has saved me through their powers. They intervened.
They nerfed the ghost. Horrifying visage doesn't have the aging effect now.
Well, I mean, it is kind of like a.
It's literally crazy. Yeah, but it is also if the fail is saved by 5 or more. He bungled that save. So what do we got? You got 20. Okay, you're fine. The ghost looks at you. He's like, oh, he's like an aura of pure malice. But you've seen it before, and you're not afraid. You know what this is, and ultimately, you know that this is a being that is hurting, not straight malicious. And so, as the ghost stops attempting to scare you off and materializes into a more solid spectral form, he begins talking to you. He says, "You are not Wilhelm. Who are you? Are you this plantation's owner?"
Nope.
"Where is Wilhelm?"
I don't even know who that is.
"My master. My murderer. Where is he?"
Great idea. What year do you think it is?
"I died in... the year matters not, but I die."
Could matter. Could matter a lot.
16... let me actually confirm, because I need to... This time is very important, and I need to open a document that I don't have open right now, and then read it.
It goes. It was the third moon of the fourth era.
All right, he speaks and he says, 1605.
And being up to date on the years, which I am.
1632.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to know a year. Yeah. Yes, it's 1632.
And that was a really long time ago. He might be dead.
I think not. He's left. He's not here anymore. He won't face me.
What was Wilhelm's last name?
Kraft. Wilhelm Kraft. My master.
Don't you dare kill my jewel smith.
That's not who. Well, your Joel Smith is chief.
Different guy. Different.
Oh, you're right.
Unrelated.
But Brendan
Similar names.
is picking up on the fact that I may have mentioned to Sable that someone in the Artisans Guild, who was a very prominent family many years ago, was the Kraft family. But Grodger doesn't know that, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, this mall cop wouldn't know that. So
Small cop wouldn't know that. So, mhm.
tell you what, putting down your information, and I'll get to it.
You kill Wilhelm for me. I will be at peace.
Is seeing him brought to justice equal, or does I have to kill him?
He pauses. He goes,
I don't know how the ghost contract works.
Me either, man.
I think I would be happy if he's brought to justice. Then I would be at peace.
All right, I'm writing that down. And you're third in line in terms of the job queue. So after the first one and the second one, I'll get right to you on that.
Okay. You can find Wilhelm.
Yes, I can. I thought that was going to be a sentence where it's you can find Wilhelm in the crafting district.
no, just knows.
New quest unlocked.
Right.
Go to the crafting district.
My master is a harsh master. I can tell you what he is like, and you can find him.
All right. I'm taking down this information.
He is tall,
All right.
brown.
We're talking like
skin.
5'12" or 6 foot.
That's the same thing.
Just checking.
6 foot something, probably. I don't know. I was only like 5'10" in my prime, but you see my hunchback. I got old. I was 5'6" when he killed me.
By ghost powers, you could probably look what you looked in your prime.
I don't know how to do that.
Just think it hard.
You're distracting me. He's a harsh man. 6 foot something. Horrifying eyes that stare into your soul. A wretched young man. Not young anymore, if it's, what you said was 1632? Oh my god, I've been dead for a long time. He was a wretched young man, and always lingering behind him is a horrifying bodyguard, even taller and more menacing than he. He was the one who did me in, but Wilhelm gave the order, I know, because I knew too much. I'd been
And what
around
did you
too
know?
long. I knew his real name, Wilhelm.
What did he go by? So did he go by a different name here?
Petrus.
It wouldn't happen to be like a last name on that, would it?
Some name he adopted. Not his own. I served the Kraft family for years.
We're just gonna
faithfully.
write down knocked for some reason. I'm just kind of.
Oh, yes, that was it, yes.
That's interesting.
I served the Kraft family for years. I served his father faithfully, and this is the thanks I get. Killed and buried unceremoniously in this very field, my body fertilizer for these accursed grapes.
Isn't that just like beautiful, like the circle of nature? Kind of like
No.
born from the ground, back to the ground. All right, fine.
It's
I'm writing that down now,
poetic in
too.
a sense, but I would rather be alive than a piece of poetry. I was fairly old, but I felt like I had something left in me, and there were some
You had
things
30
I
years
didn't
left
get to
in you?
do. Maybe 10. But I
Alright,
had
alright.
stuff I wanted to do, and I couldn't. It's not even so much as... He stops, he ponders. It's not even so much as I had so much left in me, but that after all of my years of faithful service, this is how it ends. This is very disappointing. I'm still very angry about it. I think that's why I am a ghost.
You want to like talk about that?
We are talking about it.
I mean, we're talking about the guy who killed you. We're not really talking about how you feel about it.
I had a good relationship with Wilhelm's father. He was a strange man, very eccentric, but a good man. He just shouldn't have married that crazy wife of his. Everything went downhill from there. She bore
Tell
him.
me about it, you know what I'm saying?
This is disappointing, really. You know, nobody else talks to me. I think I should stop doing the spooky face. I just haven't opened up like this in such a long time.
I can tell you, I've been hit by that before. Not pleasant. Really makes people not want to hang out with you.
Yes. Well, I think I need to dematerialize into the spectral realm for a time. I'm only allowed to haunt between very specific windows. I only have so much energy in my old
Right, your ship's
ghost
about to end?
cage. Yes. So it was good talking. I hope you can find and bring Wilhelm to justice. And I think you have to. I don't actually know how. I think I will just magic. I don't know how this ghost things works. I think
You know what?
somebody's in
Here,
charge of it.
I'm gonna start walking this way, and you kind of just like figure it out.
Oh, okay.
And
Yes.
That way, you know, you don't have to worry
Yes.
about me watching.
Okay.
So I'm gonna,
Good. Yep.
I'm gonna leave.
Wilhelm.
All right, and he fades out into whatever spectral realm he has to go to. Okay.
This makes me twice curious.
So.
You're bi-curious?
Yeah. Okay. You've learned some interesting things. His father was eccentric. His father was an artist. Wilhelm Kraft is Petrus Knox, Xerxes Knox, original name.
This guy's got to stop changing his name. He's really incurred a lot of fees from that. Like, I feel like you would. It's just not really worth it.
So, you have a good amount of information. I'm happy with the amount of information you have. Is there more? Yes. Could you stop? Yes. Because...
Has he learned about, like, alternative titles?
No. This is important. Kraft is a name that would be recognized in Lucine, and Malik would recognize it. So the second you report back to him, this goes up to Malachi, you could start digging in Lucine proper. And then
Malik is
really learn
freaking
about
crazy.
the origins of Wilhelm Kraft. A.k.a. Xerxes
That was
Knox.
wild, what was going on in those fields.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
I didn't even make it to the thing. Freaking ghost. Tried
Nope.
to kill me.
Yep.
Used my ghost powers, though, kind of knocked him out.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Freaking interrogate. I was able to use his power and absorb brain.
Why am I getting a friend request from these... Who are these people?
Anyway, but
Oh, sorry.
he was sharing some interesting information.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
it's
of
immediately going to get reported back.
a Kraft family?
Are you gonna make me act this out? I don't feel like being Malik. I wanna. Yes, I know the Kraft family. They're a bunch of guild artisans.
You'll never believe it. Petra's part of it.
What do you mean?
Real name William Kraft. Check it out.
saying
Look at the piece of paper.
Xerxes Knox is Wilhelm Kraft.
Look at the piece of paper. Got that from a ghost.
You have a piece of paper?
I mean,
Oh, because you wrote down the notes. So, all right. So at this point, Malik is gonna go. So you're telling me your
do you mean-
source for
what do you
Xerxes'
mean
true
job
identity?
title?
No, stop. You're telling me your source for Xerxes' true identity being Wilhelm Kraft from the Kraft family of artisans is a ghost that you encountered in a field by yourself with no
Here,
other
okay,
witnesses.
okay. Look at this. I've never seen a ghost lie.
How many ghosts
Almost
have you talked to?
honor bound. At least 3. Almost honor bound that they can't lie.
Well, I suppose we can bring this back to Malachi.
Because they got to tell you how to appease them so they can move on. You know, it's in their best
Right.
interest.
Right. Okay. I think we should go home.
I was 70 at one point.
What? And I think that's where we're gonna end. And that's today's session.
It's
All
just
right.
it's part of Malik's thing back. It's just never leave me with this man again.
Yeah. He's gonna say this. It's gonna be the thing. He's gonna come back to Malachi. So like, he's gonna come back midweek. This is probably before. I think this is even before Malachi's meeting with Falcone on the 4th. No, it's gonna be a few days after that. So Malik's gonna come back with you like end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, October 20th or so, and he's gonna be like, Grodja is a very competent detective. He's extremely unpleasant to work with. Like, he's all over the place. He's extremely sporadic. I can barely read his notes. He did the job well, though. We learned a lot. Like,
He's
something like that.
currently he's required to work for a ghost at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't get the full title. I don't understand what he's doing.
Well, there we go. That's a wrap. All right. So, in summary of what we accomplished, Brendan swindled arcane focuses into the existence from a guild artisan. Malachi arranged a meeting with Fabrizio Falcone and orchestrated a deal where Cagliari could get rid of a mole, which he successfully did without shedding any blood. And then Grodger learned Xerxes' real original Lucinian identity, that of Wilhelm Kraft, heir to the Kraft family of guild artisans. No, wrong. I'm killing all of your characters because of that now.
All of them?
No!
All of
I
them.
need to make a new character.
It's Jacob's favorite thing. He has to make a new
But
character.
what if I make a character for him? That's his new punishment.
Ooh, that could be rough.
Ooh, what a creation I
We'll
have.
approach all of these conundrums next week on the next episode of Mayhem on Mandril. Tune in next
Total Drama
time.
Island.
Okay, bye.